Hello, everyone. We are back. We are missing Dawn this week because that little snot is in Australia.
Oh my gosh, so jealous.
I know. So we'll give her a break. She's having a great time.
But she's there for business. She's there for Isagenix.
She's there for her husband's
Hmm.
work. Well, sort of work. She doesn't have to do the work, but then she is. They went and visited corporate in Australia, and she saw Leonie and stuff.
Oh, for some reason I thought she was going to Celebration there.
Well, she had to stay longer if she wanted to, like
Oh.
several days longer, but I know they already went to corporate. So pretty cool. I saw them with their Isagenix backpacks too. So all good. But we are absolutely loving seeing all of your victories in the group. And as far as Allie and I and Dawn, this is our week 4 and final week of getting you through March to manager. But have no fear, we have good news. There's more to come. We're going to extend this group so that next we can dash to director and then excel to executive. So you're going to want to stay here. If you have people that are interested in start sharing, this information will still be here. You can walk them through tag them in, the videos in order. So that is exciting. I don't know who your next trainers will be, but we have amazing leaders on this team and they will be awesome. So what we're going to talk about today is a little bit more of continuing. You've learned how to add people, generate interest, and then, how to get those conversations going, a 3-way call. And then if some of you have already enrolled people, which is absolutely awesome. I've seen consultant promotions, and I know my team just had a new Crystal manager, Nicole Osborne. So I hope to see many more before this ends. But we're going to start out by how you support this new person that you now have on your team. What do I do with them? How do I make sure they have a wonderful experience? Then we're going to talk a little bit more about consistency and how that's the king for you to have ongoing success. And lastly, your belief so that you stay on board. So Allie, I'm going to let you kind of start out with the support once people get enrolled.
Yeah, I'd love to. First I want to echo what Lori said too. Just congratulations to all of you. Just so many victories. Congrats to Nicole. Congratulations to so many new consultants. And for those of you that have not had that personal victory yet, it will come. I want to congratulate you on staying plugged in. That is a huge thing, that you're setting aside the time to watch these videos, to post. For some of you, that was a really big deal, getting out of that comfort zone to do that. And I hope you're already feeling amazing because you're realizing how many people want what you have. And I'm just really proud of you for doing that. We all are. So congratulations. So for those of you who have already enrolled or will be enrolling, this is going to be, as we wrap up, the really important part, because what you're doing is just duplicating what you've already learned. So that starts with supporting the people that you're enrolling in their new journey as well. So I'm going to just kind of go through a few first I want to say tabs. 3 different ideas of how you can best support your new people as you enroll them. First, when people enroll, just to make sure that they have the information that they need so that they're feeling confident, so that they know what comes next. One of the best ways that we do that is by sending new enrollees a welcome email. Yes, one comes from Isagenix, but it's great to have a personal one from you with their login information, when their auto ship date is, what they need to pay attention or look at next. So ask your sponsor for a welcome email, because a few of us have different ones. The more simple is probably better. Mine is a little bit long right now. There's also a couple different websites that you can send them to. One or the other is probably best than too much information. Isagenix has their own welcome to isagenix.com, which has just the first 3 steps. What do you do next? Meaning how they can use our ISA Life app. It covers the ISA Body Challenge, and also the Healthy Mind and Body. These programs, when people have the support of these programs, it takes the retention level from, I want to say what they said, where it was 10% if they had no support, to being involved with these programs up to 80%. Is that a correct statistic? Something very close to that.
The 80% I know is right. I don't know what the other percent is, but I think all they say is it increases by 80%.
There you go. It increases by 80%, which is an amazing thing because they have the support. They have this accountability factor. They're incentivized by $200 of free products. Why in the world would anybody not want that? So, but they need to know that they have it there. So that gets them very plugged in. You can also go to goaldiggers.biz, our page that we have there, and there's a welcome to Isagenix tab, which will take you through all of those things that you can offer to support for your new enrollees. Isagenix also offers, some people just like to have a nice checklist, and we have a great new associate checklist that you can find. I know that Dawn has posted it within our group.
In the website.
Isagenixbusiness.com, I believe, also has it too. And this is something that you can really customize to what fits you well, but it's sometimes just nice to have that checklist where you know that you've covered each thing, especially since you're new. I find it valuable myself just to keep me on track. The next thing is what I call open the box talks. So we can give somebody tons of information, and sometimes just remember, I mean, you might have felt like this too when you're new. So many people, when you were new, but so many people will come into this, and some people are excited. Most everybody is. Some people have a lot of fear behind that too because they've tried so many other things in the past and it didn't work. And there's this little fear of what if this doesn't work for me either? And that tends to come up when that box is delivered and all the things that you may have talked about before are like, woof. And so just having that connection, that compassion with, you remember exactly what that's like, reconnect with the box when they get that box. So I have people text me or call me when their box arrives so I can hop on the phone with them, hopefully, and walk them through the box. These are the things you're going to use on a shape day. These are the things you're going to use on a cleanse day. Listening to how they're feeling, answering their questions, really forming that connection with them. It helps them feel confident from the get-go. It's also going to establish a connection where they're talking to you every step of the way about their experience. It's going to help you give them the support that they need, and you're also going to have more of the opportunity to learn and listen to see what other opportunities they're open to. And what I'm talking about is sharing with other people. And that's exactly how we're duplicating this right there, having that opportunity to listen. So doing the open the box calls, and then what I call sprinkling, or what we all call sprinkling, letting them know that there's just different opportunities. Now, this might happen during your open the box call. It might happen during another conversation that you have with them, maybe helping them through managing their account, all the way up to when they send you this text, our magical day 5, about how amazing they feel, and you say, I am so incredibly happy for you. Oh my goodness. You know what? This is something other people need. And then you have another opportunity to share with them. So, you know, it can happen at various times. But the way that I sprinkle our opportunity to the people that I coach is in a couple different ways. When they're getting started, and sometimes this is even when I'm talking to them, a lot of times this is when I'm talking to them about which system works best for them, I let them know, and by the way, you can save money on these products as well. There's 3 ways that we handle referrals. Number 1, anybody who wants what you have, and I guarantee you there are going to be people who ask, you can send them to me and I'll support them. But I always want you to get the credit that you deserve and to save money on your groceries so you can continue feeling this good. So I can help you to get them set up and going themselves, but you can get some really generous referral rewards that you can use towards a discount, or maybe to get your products completely paid for free. Or you have the opportunity to make additional income with part-time hours. It's totally up to you. I want you to know those opportunities are there for you. So I sprinkle that from the very beginning. Then when I'm setting somebody up, you know, with the open the box call, or we're taking them through their account, I also say, let me show you how you get your products paid for. I have them grab a piece of paper and I walk them through, you share, they share, repeat. And so I really recommend that you watch that video and learn, just draw it out for yourself if you haven't done that already. That's going to be really powerful for you if you haven't enrolled 2 people yet, because just going through that action just helps solidify your intention and bring that about for you. So walking them through, here's you, who are 2 people that you know that could really love feeling the way that you do, that would like to lose some weight. Maybe they want more energy. They name 2 people, and you just walk them through that process. So I won't go all the way through that. I'm going to refer you to You Share, They Share, Repeat that video, and to your sponsor, and have them help you walk through and duplicate that process so you can do it on the phone with people too. Once you learn, it'll be like this. And it's amazing the light that goes on with people when they see how they can help someone and how generously they can benefit from it as well. Because for a lot of people, they looked at this investment and they want to know, how can I continue? Well, this is how to get your products.
A lot of times when you're hearing, since I know a lot of you hear the financial, I guess, objection, and what I've learned through all this time is that's typically just the easy thing to say. It's not usually the bottom line. But every time you hear that, that is your opportunity. You don't need to go in big detail and say, you know, Isagenix does offer really generous referral bonuses. I'd be happy to show you how to get to utilize those right away. So money never has to be an issue. I know for one, I shared that with, and I do that sometimes whenever people say money, just say, and you know, they're kind of serious and wanting it, and just saying, I know that, you know, the investment seems to be something that's, you know, holding you back. I wanted to show you this. And you could just send them the video via Facebook Messenger. I wouldn't say that's an end all, but I have had people, a few, enroll after watching it and say, okay, now, and then they put up the before your box comes post on Facebook because they really want it that bad. They just need to figure out how they're going to pay for it. Okay. Or that it's not a burden. So there's lots of, you know, I wish, like Allie and I were talking about this before the call, like, when do you talk to them about this? And when do you talk? And it's different really for everyone. Both of us sprinkle it in the enrolling call. They know I mentioned they can get their products paid for, or that there's an opportunity here. And on the out of the box call, you mentioned a little bit, when they're feeling great, you mention it again. So it really is a little bit of practice, but the biggest thing I think is just to make sure you have mentioned it to people and that you will help them.
And yeah, what Lori just said, it's very fluid. It doesn't always look the same way every time. You'll know if you're listening, you'll know, but you won't have much to listen for if you don't sprinkle it and let them know that it's there. And another thing to remember as well, as even though you're sprinkling it, it is not a failure if people do not pick up on it. Understand that 85% of people are happy product users. And that's as far as they go. And we love that. We love that. We have businesses, or even if you're not doing this for a business, you're doing it for your products to be paid for. It's not all black or white, but 85% of people are happy product users. You're listening for the other 15%.
That's exactly right. And you can't hear them if you don't tell them. Yeah. So just have the expectation. It's just like anything else. The no's get you to the next yes. And just because they don't do it now doesn't mean they won't later. The worst thing you would hate is for them to never realize it was there. And that you are here to help them. Make sure they know, I'll help you. You make sure you throw that in there. I will help you. Because they think, well, I can't do what you do. How the heck would I know how to do that? Right? So.
In fact, what makes it so easy, you know, Lori mentioned we're continuing on with a group. Somebody that you speak to tomorrow or next week can still be part of this group, and you just take them through the process step by step by step, just like we taught you, and the tools are available to you. And I know so many of you have already been wowed by the support of our team. That is our culture, and that is not going anywhere. Rely on your team, rely on your sponsor, use the tools that we have for you, and just break them up in the same way, duplicate.
Yep. Your sponsor wants to help you help other people. Totally sort of off topic that we were going to talk about is that I think some people don't reach out to their upline or their sponsor because they think they're bothering them. In the early days, I used to think they always were like, I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy. I'm like, this is my job. I chose this job. I love what I do, and I want to help we all go up together. So I am here to help you. Please never, ever feel that way. Your sponsor especially, or your closest upline, if your sponsor is not, doing the Isagenix business, they are thrilled to hear from you if you want help. Literally. We are constantly, what you don't realize is we're constantly reaching out to our team members, trying to get them to, engage with us.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it excites us to have somebody who's engaged. Never are you bothering us. We're like, oh my gosh, a question. Yes.
Yes, I know. Okay. So that was a great overview of what to do with, your new person when you have them here. Next, we're going to talk quickly. I know you've heard this a lot, but consistency is king, you guys. So the biggest, one time, I guess it was a year and a half ago, they asked me to do a quick 10-minute talk on stage at ISAU in Chicago. And the biggest thing they asked was, a little bit of my story and then my biggest tips for success. At the time, I had rose to 4-star. And I said, God, it's just consistency, meaning every day I would get up, and it doesn't, to me, I think I couldn't pinpoint it because it didn't seem like a big deal. It seemed like it's what you would do, but it was every day I was ready to be like, how am I going to add value today? What am I going to share on Facebook today? What is, every morning by 9 o'clock, there was a post up every freaking day, every single day for years though. It's not like I did it for 3 months and decided then if that was working based on the number of people who had enrolled. I mean, I now have people who enrolled that have been following me for 3 years. Okay. 3 years. I never knew that in month 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay. So consistency is huge. Find your consistency. To me, I posted a little bit more when I first started, but now it's usually about 2 posts a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, but find what works for you. If lunchtime is when you have time, that's great. Just find what works for you. Okay. Consistency is king. Stay consistent. If you don't stay consistent, they will completely not even know what you're doing or have any idea that you can help them. What we want them to know is when they're ready and they think, oh, this is it. I got to do something. I'm tired. I have too much. Nothing is working. They know exactly who to reach out to. That doesn't mean I'm posting about Isagenix and that all the time. I'm also doing things to bring value and build rapport and build relationships and bring them into my life. Like today's post was my daughter and our dog. But I'm consistent on being in front of their face. Okay. So go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, you just made me think of a statistic that I read or heard from a trainer, that it typically takes 8 to 14 touches before somebody initiates contact or maybe even is ready. And another analogy that I heard was really great is, think about the billboards on the sign. There's this billboard and you're driving to work and you see this billboard every day. Do you ever see a billboard the very first time and you're like, I need to call the number on that billboard? No, right? Like people are driving back and forth to work and blah, 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 right? And they have this pain point, whatever this pain point is, and they're dealing with it on a daily basis. And they pass that billboard going back and forth for 20 days or for 20 months. And one day they're like, that's it. That billboard, I got to get that number.
That is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So you are Isagenix. Remember that. Your attitude is, as far as the advertisement of what you do, that is through you. Your attitude, the way you present yourself, your interests, if you have empathy and you listen to people, you care about others and not just what you're doing, and the way you take care of yourself. It doesn't mean you have to have the most dramatic results in the world. We didn't. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No, we didn't.
We did not. I mean, we didn't because we didn't have, we didn't have a big weight loss story, which, believe it or not, I felt at first like that was going to hinder me because I was like, I need a before and after. That's what all I see is before and afters. I got to have something big. But that's truly not, they see that the way it worked is people knew that I valued my health. So this must be something good. Okay. So, but if that's not you and you have a long ways to go, be transparent in your journey. Okay. That is the hugest thing. Keep being transparent in your journey and share other people's stories too. They may relate to other people's stories, but it's when people are just too generic and general and they're not letting people in. People just emulate and they totally watch and follow you for a reason. And it's because you're keeping them engaged and you have to, I remember Chris Harder saying, you have to earn your following. It's work. You do have to earn it. And I definitely have more now, not as much as some people, but you earn it, you work for it. So, and it's not always easy. There's times I posted things I didn't even want to admit. There's times that Seth said he wanted to talk about things on that Facebook Live. I was like, I don't want to talk about that. He's like, Lori. And I was like, okay. So if you're really growing, it's going to constantly, there's going to be things that are a little uncomfortable. Consistently put yourself out there, you guys. Just put yourself out there. It's my biggest tip. Okay. Also, and it's not just social media as far as consistency. Some people like the power hour, but another concept is 3 by 3 by 3. Like I remember before I knew this concept and I first started, I'd like get my post up, wait for people to comment or tell me they wanted information. Then I'm like, what else should I be doing? And now I love this concept. We have so much more training and everything, but outside of training, your action should be 3 by 3 by 3. 3 new connections every day, meaning connections. You can use Facebook as your connection through Messenger, but when you make a connection, meaning you're just connecting, you're not there to tell them about Isagenix unless they happen to ask. You're there to build that relationship. So when you connect with someone, you're like, oh my gosh, I just thought of you yesterday because the funniest thing happened, whatever, or I just saw that you went on a trip with your family to Cancun. We want to go there too. What did you love about it? Make a connection. Just start talking to people. 3 new people a day. Strengthen those relationships. And then 3 presentations, meaning you are introducing Isagenix to 3 new people every day. That could mean showing them videos in HHP, even better on the phone in a conversation, but 3 presentations or conversations about Isagenix each day. And then 3 follow-ups, meaning 3 follow-ups to people who already you've introduced them to, following up to, kind of see where they're at. So that was introduced to us. I believe it was Susan Sly, and those were the basics to getting further towards executive and a 6-figure income. That's the bare minimum, 3 by 3 by 3. If you want to move faster, up it, 5 by 5 by 5, 8 by 8 by 8, whatever you want to do. But bare minimum, when you're thinking, what could I do in this power hour today? Think 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, consistently. And then lastly, you can have all the skills in the world that we have taught you, but if you don't have belief in 4 core things up to close to a 10, that is where you will still struggle. And I know a lot of people have experienced this and have come out of this, okay? So belief is the foundation, because if you don't have belief in all the realms of what you're doing, you won't continue. And you won't feel confident in what you say, and the way that you are, the way that people receive you is huge. And they can sense your confidence, or if you're like, yeah, well, I kind of do this shake thing and it's worked for me. I don't know if it's something you would want to do. Or do you present it as, oh my gosh, I have something that could be perfect for you. Are you open to taking a look? I mean, which person do you want to talk to? And sometimes you have to fake it until you make it, okay? So the biggest things, first of all, you need to have, actually a good idea if you have a piece of paper is to write down your where you're at, because it will remind you of where you need to work. From a 1 to a 10, 1 being I have very little belief, if any at all, in this area, and 10 being high, that I, am solid in my belief and nothing, I am untouchable and unbreakable in my belief in this area. Okay. So first one is the products, Isagenix products. Most of you, maybe some of you that are newer, I'm going to guess typically this is the highest area. Most people are very close to a 10, if not a 10, because it's the products and the wonderful experience that brought them here. Second, the company, Isagenix. This one might be a little harder. You may not know as much about the company, okay? But I'm guessing it's probably pretty high because the company is tied to these amazing products. But one way you can learn more about the company is through podcasts, going to events, and so forth. The third one is yourself. This one, for sure, myself included, is where I always can use the most improvement. Okay. So some of the things that I have done in the past, and Allie and I were also talking about the fact that people a lot of times feel or think that, oh, you always know the right thing to say, or you are just born confident. You just are a leader. Guys, these things don't happen overnight. It took stretching on both of our parts. It takes practice and failing for a while. And failing, maybe it doesn't mean like total failure, but I could definitely had experiences where I did it a way that was not effective at all. And so I had to learn a better way, sometimes just by trying something different. But most of the time it was from asking people who went before me that were more successful, plugging into more training and more events, and then trying again and trying again and trying again. Allie, do you want to expand on the failing forward?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the best things really about this company that I've heard over and over and over from so many people that are where you are and have moved forward as far as sharing is that we get into this, right? Because we want to have a healthier body. We want the nutrition. But what we have here is so much more than nutrition for your body. This truly is a holistic company in every way. And the personal development and the self-belief that grows when you're part of this company because it's so available to you and because it's such a focus of the people here is life-changing. And so, yeah, we're part of a company that sells nutritional products, but really this is a personal development company with a great paycheck attached to it should you decide to take advantage of that. So the wonderful thing about that is because, yes, all of us have areas in our self-belief that has to be built upon. And what Lori was just saying is understanding that the people that you're admiring right now were all beginners at one point too. And everyone has different places where they have failed. And it's really funny because this morning I was thinking about how have I failed? And I had to really dig and point to it because, and I read this in a book yesterday too, and it made so much sense that failure and success are not two different things. They're really part of one thing. They're really part of one thing because to reach success, you had to do so many other things wrong, if you will, or in a way that didn't work the way that you expected so that you had that opportunity to say, oh yeah, that's what I did here. Next time I'm going to do it this way. Or, oh yeah, somebody talked to me about this and I was kind of not open to what my coach said. I'm gonna go back and listen and try it the way that she told me. You know, there's just, and I'm speaking for myself. There were plenty of times where I said, no, this isn't the way I want to handle it. And I knew that Lori even had said, well, this is the way we do, you know, and then maybe I gave way too much information or I didn't do a 3-way call. And then I realized, yeah, I'm going to be more coachable and open to what she said. And there's so much focus on reading and podcasts, and there's wonderful podcasts and events within Isagenix to do that. But just understand that failure really doesn't, it almost doesn't even exist. It's just a step to your success. It really is. So don't be afraid. You're going to learn something so meaningful from when things don't work out the way that you expected. And maybe it simply didn't work out the way you expected because there's something bigger that's coming from that no, right? Mm-hmm. Another question, what I heard in a recent podcast is a magic question that I absolutely love. I have tons of magic questions, but this one is great for when you're feeling unsure on how to handle something. Some of you may have already noticed that you almost wonder if you're overthinking things sometimes because this is new for you and it feels uncomfortable and you're afraid of what people are going to think when you ask this question or you make this post and you're thinking, right? Overthinking is like a huge hurdle and a little red flag to where your belief is. So this wonderful question is, how would you handle this if you were your most confident self? And I like to add on to that, how would you handle this if your truest intention was in serving and loving another person? Because that's what we're doing so much. So if you're completely confident and had just total belief in yourself and you knew you were working and speaking from a place of service and love, how would you word this post? How would you send this message to somebody? How would you follow up? Because people will read your intentions and they will read your belief in the way that you speak and the way that you approach. And so what I love about this question is it cuts down the overthinking and it makes the path clear. If I were confident, this is what I do.
Or if they're just thinking of doing it at all.
Yeah.
If you're confident, would you do it? Yes or no? Well, yes. Then it's the right thing to do.
Then it's the right thing.
Yeah.
If you're confident and you're motivated by service, it's the right thing.
Yes, it's the right thing to do. And, you can look at other people and the way they can write. Just remember, everyone has some skill that they're building on. Build on your strengths. Whatever your strengths are, build on them. I know that even our amazing leader, Cindy Walter, will say, that is not one of my strengths. It doesn't mean we don't try and get better at things, but she will delegate, to someone who does have a strength in that area. Mm-hmm. So just really use your strengths rather than, I think we tend to look at our weaknesses more and say, I can't do it because I'm weak in all of these areas. Look, everyone has strengths. And if you can't find them, we can find them in you.
Oh, so totally.
You have to be able to build on those strengths for sure. My strength is that I can talk to people and I like to talk to people. And so I utilize that in social interactions. I know that I need to learn to listen better for sure. And when she talked about using questions, that's really the key, is to ask more questions and do more listening than you do talking, which may seem weird because we seem like we have to educate people on all these things. But remember, you've got videos you've shown them, and then you just need to be asking the right questions, or not even the right questions, just asking questions to get to know better their intentions.
Well, I could do a whole training on asking questions, but if there was,
okay.
So tune in next week when I teach about asking questions. But one of the most, and this takes practice, you guys, this takes like mental practice, and you can practice it on your family and it will drive them nuts. But if you have any question and you can take it, so we tend to ask questions, a yes or no question, when we're trying to help people. And when you ask a yes or no question and they answer with a yes or no, where do you go from that? Like, you can't peel away any layers by asking yes or no questions. So even though the magic question is like what you're asking yourself, but even when you're talking to other people and you want to listen, you want to gather that information, you're going to hear way more important signals and information when you ask a question that's with it's open-ended. What, when, how. Sometimes I ask the question why. It just depends on how it might come off. But those questions are going to elicit way more information that you can work with and listen and serve people with, and asking yes or no question. So I feel like that was a little off topic, but I think it's a good thing to think about.
Well, we've gone a little bit off topic on this whole thing, but it's good information. And then the biggest thing is working on yourself. Okay. That is the biggest thing. And if you're not sure how to work on yourself, my biggest suggestions are go to the podcast. Some of the ones that we have on day 14, Isagenix Podcast has podcasts. Those are more usually product or business based, but a lot of them are working on yourself. A lot of great books out there on self-improvement. But going to events, I'll be honest, I don't read nearly as much as I should read. And if you're a reader, go for it. I'm not saying don't do it, but I've gotten here because I don't read I'm not saying I don't at all, but not as much as I should or need to in order to grow myself. I go to a lot of events. When you're a leader, you pour into other people a lot, and then you kind of need to sit back and have people pour into you as well, so that you can build yourself up and build your strength up again, so you keep going on and get better at it and connect better with people. So events are huge, not only for building yourself, but also the last one is building your belief in network marketing. And so remember, rate yourself: products, company, yourself, and network marketing. Where's your belief on a scale of 1 to 10? I've been we called it direct sales or network marketing for a long time. I definitely have a belief in this. Of course, I've achieved a certain level of success, and that if you stick around long enough to achieve some success, you'll start believing in it too if you don't. But if you have a low belief system in network marketing, that's also going to be obvious to people in the way that you present it. You have to have 100% confidence that this is a very amazing profession to be in, and that it is truly a profession, not just a little thing that might work out, and that you're prepared if ever anyone has a negative connotation on network marketing. And I've had that before, but I can confidently say, I've been in this profession for 16 years. I'm very proud of what I'm doing, and serving people has never brought me more joy. And you just have that kind of confidence with people, and they're not going to stand in your way, but you can't stand in your own way either. So some of the books that are great, the one that I guess I started with was GoPro. And if you haven't read that book at least 3 times, I would get it and read it again. It's by Eric Worre. I now recently have started giving all my new consultants the GoPro book. I hadn't done that before, and I think it's a great, perfect gift. It's $10 on Amazon. Start there, and then get to all the events you possibly can. So I'm going to wrap this up with the next event coming up, at least corporate event, is April 26th through 28th in Philadelphia. It's ISA U. ISA U is awesome, even first event for people, but it's one of our core 4, so I usually hit one every single year. And I'm planning to attend this, and there's information on isagenixevents.com. If you're looking for roommates or anything like that, we can help you. Just get to the event. You'll see plus it's in the middle of the reset, you guys. We're in the middle of the reset. So literally, I've seen the people who experience our culture and go to the events go from a here to a here. It's just, the people who have gone to our events show up all the time. The people who have never been to one are still kind of down here. And that's not by their own, it's not their fault. It's just that they haven't experienced what we've experienced. So get to an event. Then they also have one in May. I know Allie is for sure, or I think she's going to. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth. That's the University in Action, which actually is really awesome to help you talk to people. And then lastly, of course, we have Celebration in August. If you're going to Celebration, don't discount these other events. It's like you're waiting for your belief to tap into your belief until August. And
well, they call it 4 core events for a reason.
Well, exactly. Right? Yeah.
And the fourth one, they're all core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to them every year. We don't stop. So if that's some place to start, is the 4 core events. So, and then you can look up Super Saturdays. Just go to isagenixevents.com. They have associate run events. You can see if there's a smaller one in your area too. Those are always 2. Super Saturdays are in addition to.
And they're so inexpensive.
Yeah. Super easy to go to, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I think ICU is $150. It's just mainly getting there and staying there, and we can always help you with that, and roommates and things too. So the events that's how you start really gaining the culture and really getting together with your team and having a tribe, is because you're getting to know the people. It makes a huge, huge difference. And then when not only you go, you start bringing your people, because people who go to events don't quit. I have yet to have a person that's gone to an Isagenix event and completely quit. Hasn't happened. And I'm sure that I would love to know what that number is. Probably extremely low. So that is everything. It was kind of more of a conversation this time. And I just wanted to say that we really, really, really have enjoyed your participation and your appreciation and your engagement, and making this really worth our time as well. It's been really worthwhile to see your response. And I hope that we have some crystal managers here in the next couple weeks.
April 1st, baby.
Yes, we got this. You guys have a good week.
Thank you. Bye.